One of my bellmen approached me, and he kind of had a weird look on his face, and he said to me, can we go in your office and talk? I brought him into my office, and he says, something really weird happened here yesterday, and you weren't here. He said, there's a couple guys in here looking for you. And I said, a couple guys? What do you mean? And he said, well, this is really hard for me to say. He said, but there's a couple really strange-looking men that were here, and they kind of freaked everybody out, and they were asking questions about you. And, of course, now I'm getting a little bit nervous, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, well, he goes, I don't know how to describe them except for extremely odd-looking. They were really, really tall, he said, and they were identical height. They were the exact same height. They were wearing the exact same clothes, and they had the exact same faces, like they were twins. And he said they were wearing black suits, black trench coats. They were wearing like the old-fashioned Federo hat. They had extremely, extremely pale skin. And he said they came in and they looked around a little bit and they asked for you. And I said, I'm sorry, he's actually not working today. And it seemed like they didn't believe me, so they started to walk around the hotel, and shortly after they went to the tour desk, and he goes, I got busy. I started to have to bring cars around and get luggage, and by the time I came back, they were gone. But he goes, they freaked me out, and I really wanted to tell you that there were these weird guys in here looking for you. So, of course, now I'm a little bit skeptical and I'm a little bit freaked out all at the same time. So the first thing I do is I run into my security office, because I know how to work the security system, and I rewound the cameras, and sure enough, here comes two gentlemen through the front door looking exactly how he described. Then the next day, I was talking with my tour desk, and one of them asked to talk to me. She came in my office, the same as my bellman, and she said, I need to tell you about something that happened. I heard that you heard that there were some men looking for you. And I said, yes. And she said, they asked a few questions about you, and they said strange things that I didn't understand. And they were talking about governments and conspiracies, and none of it made any sense to me. But she goes, they were very, very scary. And I said, well, why were they scary? And she said, they had no facial hair, none. She said they had no eyebrows, no eyelashes, nothing. Their hair looked like they had a wig on, like it was attached to their hat, like it wasn't even real. And she said, and the scariest thing, their eyes were so big and so blue that they almost hypnotized me a little bit. And she goes, and you're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this, but I swear they knew what I was thinking. I swear, and I don't think I'm crazy, but I don't even know how they could do it, and I don't know why I'm even telling you this. She goes, so I started to think about things other than you, and I don't even know if it worked. And she started to cry, and she said one more thing before she left. She said, these men, they didn't blink. Not once did I see them blink.
So the pyramids are crazy, right? We all know this. But did you know, like, the actual facts about them? Like, you know that the pyramids line up perfectly with the Orion's Belt, right? The Orion's Belt is just a star constellation containing 3 supergiant stars, much bigger and brighter than the sun. You just cannot tell me that is a coincidence. It's too perfect. Another one is that the altitude of, like, the pyramids is the same number as the speed of light. If that isn't something exceptional to you, then I don't know what is. Some ancient drawings even have depictions of light bulbs. So obviously there's several theories on how they were actually built. Some say it was giants. And then the argument against that is, wouldn't we have found their bones by now? Some say it was some form of extraterrestrials. And then another theory is simply that they were far more advanced back then. But, like, think deeply. How do you actually think that they built such grotesque infrastructure? It's such an interesting topic. Do you think that with all the knowledge and machinery and tools and all that, that we could replicate something similar?
12 shocking confirmed conspiracy theories. The Dead Baby Project involved the unauthorized collection of deceased children's body parts for nuclear fallout testing. Bad booze resulted in over 10,000 American deaths during Prohibition due to poisoned alcohol. Edith Wilson acted as de facto president when her husband suffered a stroke. MK-Ultra experiments using LSD caused permanent mental disability. The Dalai Lama received a six-figure salary from the U.S. government in exchange for funding Tibetan resistance. John Lennon was under FBI surveillance for his anti-war stance. Edward Snowden revealed government spying on U.S. citizens. Big Tobacco hid the link between smoking and lung cancer for years. The Tuskegee syphilis experiment was a 40-year unethical medical study on African American men. The Watergate scandal led to President Nixon's resignation. The Iran-Contra affair involved the secret sale of arms to Iran to fund Contra rebels in Nicaragua. The Manhattan Project produced the first atomic bombs.
What do you guys think about the MKUltra project? Is it real, or is it all just a myth?
Conjunction. It is behind the sun. It's coming up. It came up in the direction towards the sun's, say, 7:30 position.
Okay.
Now, when it comes out from behind, it'll be around the 1:30 position. And
will we be able to see it then?
Yeah. And when we see it, if you're not prepared, I mean, frankly, when we do see it, people are going to be standing out in the street. They're going to be pointing up at the sky.
You'll be able to see it like that?
Oh, yeah. You're going to see it. It's a melancholia scenario. It's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger because this thing is going to come around from behind the sun and cross over our orbit above us and ahead of us. And, you know, there's a gentleman, Bob Dean, government whistleblower. He's one of my heroes. I mean, I just love this guy.
Yeah, good guy.
And I think in 2008 on Project Camelot, he made a prediction. He said, according to my sources, it is going to, when we are going to be on the same side of the sun as the Planet X system when it goes into its aphelion leg. That's when it's going back south.
Okay.
And that is when it's really going to be jamming, you know.
And jamming meaning doing
fast.
Things to us?
To the sun, to us.
So is this what the government has been hiding from us?
Claim that the details are closely guarded by the American government. So what exactly is the HARP project? HARP is an acronym for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. Its objective is to study the highest portions of the Earth's atmosphere. HARP sends high-frequency radio waves to the ionosphere. These radio waves heat electrons at altitudes above 60 kilometers. Then scientists study the resulting perturbations in the ionosphere. The aim is to improve communication and navigation systems. HARP was managed by the US Air Force and Navy from 1990 to 2014. In 2015, the facility was handed over to University of Alaska Fairbanks. While HARP has not responded specifically to earthquake claims, it has responded to weather manipulation theories. HARP scientists have stated that the facility cannot control weather. Earth's weather is produced in the troposphere and stratosphere. HARP's radio waves don't interact with these lower layers of the atmosphere. Scientists have said that if ionospheric storms caused by the sun can't affect Earth's weather, then HARP definitely cannot. But this doesn't mean that artificial earthquakes are impossible. There are at least two ways that humans can cause earthquakes. The first is fracking or hydraulic fracturing, which is used to extract oil and natural gas. Wastewater produced by fracking is pumped into deep underground wells, and this can cause temblors. The second way to create a quake is through nuclear explosions. Quakes caused by nuclear blasts are much smaller than the explosion, and not all blasts cause quakes. The range of these is a few tens of kilometers as per the USGS. A fabled earthquake machine has also been linked to the enigmatic inventor Nikola Tesla. Some accounts say Tesla built a steam-powered oscillator which was designed to vibrate at various frequencies.
We can agree on the fact that HARP is actually used to manipulate weather.
I don't know who's gonna come after me for saying this, but it needs to be said. Poached eggs are easy to make. All these chefs are telling you this, so it needs all these steps. No, they're fucking easy to make. What you need is a strainer and water. It's ridiculous. You crack your eggs in the strainer, and then there's like this little gooey stuff that's gonna come out. And that's the stuff that floats around in the water. And I want to get rid of that. Put your water to a boil, and then you gotta turn it down a little bit. Cool. And once it's ready, it's ready. And then you just drop these eggies in, and then it'll just poach. 3 minutes. You don't need to do the spinny whirlpool thing. You don't have to do the vinegar thing. You don't have to do any of these gadgets. Nothing. This is it. Right? Okay, slotted spoon. Fucking egg. And you're good. That's it. Poach. Alright. Alright. Okay. I'm sick of the gatekeeping.
Shit I seen on YouTube was Obey the Walrus. Have you ever seen that video?
Nah, that sounds crazy.
So, okay, Obey the Walrus is like a cursed video.
Oh,
So it's known in the streets as a cursed video, fam.
Okay, yeah.
If you watch this video, like your nose will start bleeding.
Nah,
something
you're lying.
bad will happen to you.
What?
Like some shit will happen to you. You'll get bad news, something.
Nah.
Yeah. So my friend, he told me he was watching it with his boy. And on the way home, so he watched the video. He watched Obey the Walrus.
Yeah.
On the way home, he started biking. His nose started bleeding, and he
What?
crashed his bike.
Nah.
Yeah.
And you watched this?
I didn't watch the full thing because I was fucking scared.
Oh, okay.
And then another time my cousin watched it. He was watching it like in the basement. I put it on for him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, watch this. I'm too scared to watch it.
And you didn't do it with
I
him?
ran upstairs.
I don't know what you're smoking, but whatever it is, it's really, really cheap.
They have dark web game shows. You know what that is?
Nah.
So you know, like game shows like Big Brother.
Yeah.
They'll have that shit on the dark web. But if you get eliminated, they kill you.
What the fuck?
And they have Wipeout.
What happens with Wipeout?
I'm gonna tell you the story.
Yeah.
So there's this guy who. So in the Wipeouts, you if you're a listener, you
Yeah.
get to bet on people, right? So this guy was like, okay, I'm gonna join it because there's $100,000 prize. He goes to whatever, and it's like in a warehouse.
Yeah.
Right. So there's 4 other contestants. First obstacle, the big red balls. Pause.
Yeah.
So they do that. The first person gets called up, goes, falls. All you hear, breaking of bones.
What the hell?
You feel me? The other person goes.
That's like some saw shit,
That's
bro.
what I'm saying. Doesn't pass it. Breaks bones. There's only 2 guys left that actually passed it. The final round was them. Okay, you have to hang on metal bars, and below you, if you fall, Shark Tank.
What the fuck?
And you know what the guy did?
What?
He won with 100K. And they injected something into him so they can put him back in his house. And when he woke up, there's 100K right beside him.
What the fuck? That's crazy, bro. That's really like some jigsaw shit.
It is.
I'm telling you, they are smoking something really, really good.
What's a conspiracy theory that absolutely blows your mind?
The missing 411 conspiracies. Thousands of people go missing in national forest. Some of them are found dead. Some of them are never found again. But the ones who are found always say they don't want to talk about it or they can't remember what happened. Some kids especially do remember, but the stories they tell are really far-fetched and paranormal. So a lot of people just think they're delusional from the trauma. But here's the thing. The people who have been missing for hours upon hours or days upon days, there's even people missing for over a year. When they're found again, they're perfectly fine. They're not scratched up, they're not beaten up, they don't look like they've been starving, they're fine. One thing researchers have found in common is that there's always berries around the area people go missing, and that most people have dogs with them, and that bad weather always follows their disappearance, washing away any kind of footprints that they can track.
There's a theory that our Christmas traditions originated from a psychedelic mushroom. So you guys know that mushroom emoji with the red and the white dots? So that mushroom is called the Amanita muscaria. So you ever wonder why we put Christmas gifts at the bottom of our tree? This theory states that because the Amanita muscaria used to grow under pine trees, we adopted that tradition of keeping gifts underneath the tree. So you can imagine red and white mushrooms growing underneath the pine tree, almost like a Christmas tree with gifts underneath. Now this theory also explains why we hang ornaments on our tree, because before taking part in the psychedelic experience, the shamans would take the mushroom and hang them on the tree for a few days to dry them. And it's very likely that the colors red and white that we use for Christmas came from the Amanita muscaria. Also, check this out. In Siberia, when the snowstorms used to happen and snow would cover the front door of everybody's houses, shamans wearing red and white would climb to the top of the houses, dropping the mushrooms down the chimney. Sounds very familiar to somebody we all know. You guessed it, Santa Claus.
This is scary. Isn't it weird How we all use our phones 24/7, but we never see them or use them in our dreams. Even all the other technologies like TVs and laptops, you just won't see them in a dream. Some people think that this proves that we're actually living inside a simulation because something is stopping you from seeing something on your unconscious level.
I mean, yes, I haven't seen any gadgets in my dreams, but that doesn't prove that we live in a simulation. The first one is the moon, or it could be a Dragon Ball.
So there's a theory that links meteors and gold. There are some very, very round lakes around the world, right? There's one in Africa, in Ghana, called Lake Bosumtwi. So this meteor hit Earth about 1 million years ago, so a very, very long time ago. Here's where the theory gets interesting, right? So gold was only discovered about 5,000 years ago in the year 2450 BC. But Ghana is one of the biggest gold producers in the world. Could that meteor have possibly bought that gold from some other place in our universe? I mean, just think about it. A meteor even hit modern-day Mexico near the Yucatan Peninsula, where silver and copper are actually found. It's at the Chicxulub crater. It might not be true, but it's interesting to consider that these celestial impacts could have contributed to the distribution of precious metals on Earth. Imagine the cosmic journey these elements might have taken before arriving here.
I mean, the only thing which discredits this whole argument is the fake Elon voice.